Katrina Jackson is a Democrat from Louisiana, and she is a state representative in Louisiana, and she has an idea. She wants students to learn about freedom of religion. And the way she wants students to learn about that is by having to recite the Lord's Prayer every morning in class. She's introduced House Bill 660, which is a bill that would require the State Board of Elementary and Secondary Education to establish a policy and develop procedures relative to school prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance. Now, when you hear, well, establish a policy, that seems pretty harmless, but Jackson wants more than that. She wants to see the wall between church and state basically torn down like the Berlin Wall, Lewis. She wants it gone.
Right. And of course, as with so many people, when they say freedom of religion, they mean freedom of Christianity.
That's exactly right. Now, her bill demands that public schools develop policies so that students recite the Lord's Prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance every morning. Now, it would be voluntary in the sense that there would be no official punishment for not joining in, but try telling that to the 14-year-old students who sit during the pledge, refuse to say the prayer, and then have to deal with the inevitable harassment from the good Christians in the class, right? Just to say that there is no official punishment does not mean much. So what's Jackson's justification for the policy? She says students shall be reminded that the Lord's Prayer is the prayer that the Pilgrim Fathers recited when they came to America in search of freedom. So to learn about freedom from religion, you are kind of told that the policy here is we recite a Christian prayer. Doesn't make much sense to me.
Not at all.
Jackson wants students to say the Lord's Prayer, but she is not trying to influence their personal beliefs. She said that this is also constitutional because it is voluntary. Now, that's really where I want to focus, guys, because I think that's the interesting part. Voluntariness does not excuse a constitutional violation. That is the quote from Andrew Seidel of the Freedom from Religion Foundation, and a number of legal experts agree. The ability to opt out of something does not make it constitutional if it would be unconstitutional if it were mandatory. That's the legal situation.
Okay.
And so what do you think about this, Natan? I mean, it's the same states over and over again. It's a Democrat here. This is not always a partisan thing, although typically it is. This is a Southern Democrat from Louisiana in this case. Do you think that Katrina Jackson really doesn't understand that this is not the way to teach freedom of religion, or do you think she just doesn't care?
I don't think she's very bright. It seems like she doesn't realize that religious pilgrims didn't write the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence. They did come here as immigrants, but the ones who wrote the Constitution believes in a separation of church and state. So I don't know where she's going there. Now, I will say something about her being a Democrat. Like you said, in these states, it really makes no difference. These insane, unconstitutional laws are more than... I mean, the party has really no bearing on it. And what's going on here, I really don't know what you would say about where this is going to end up, but my feeling is in about 6 months, it's not going to exist anymore.
I would assume the same, Louis.
Yeah, this isn't going to fly. I'm not shocked that it's a Democrat, like Natan said, in the southern states. It's pretty. This type of mentality is pretty widespread.
You can support the David Pakman Show by becoming a David Pakman Show member. It's very easy. Go to davidpakman.com, click on the bright orange banner on the left side of the website, and check out all of our membership options. One of the benefits is you get the bonus show. On today's bonus show, we'll talk about PETA and some animal killing statistics that have a lot of people very angry. We'll talk about Kim Jong Un's aunt. Is she really pulling the strings in North Korea? And also a new WikiLeaks release, which has a lot of dirt about the Vatican. That's all coming up on today's bonus show, davidpakman.com/membership. We'll take a break. I will talk to you next about a 4-year-old who killed a police officer's wife. Very sad story.
The David Pakman Show at davidpakman.com.